we keep going. This is what it would look like. This is what we have so far. I managed to figure it out and I think I'm done with the dress. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is not going to be a tutorial, it's going to be more like a walkthrough or like a crochet with me. So as the title suggests, I'm going to be making one of my best friends a dress. The dress that she asked me to recreate is actually from Cotton On, and I'll put a picture of it somewhere here. I'll be making a few changes to it just to make it a little bit more flattering. And actually now that I'm thinking about it, completely changed the dress. Let's just say we're taking inspiration from that Cotton On dress. She still likes the design, and so I'm just gonna continue and go ahead with it. So she told me that she's not too fussy about the bust part, the bust area where there's like a tie bit. So I decided to just completely remove that. I'm also thinking of making the straps tie straps so that she can easily adjust them, because over time with crochet clothing, it will stretch as you wear it and as you wash it. So I think having adjustable straps is a really good idea. I also want to add like a layered skirt. So I'll have like 2 layers of like a ruffly skirt. She also mentioned to me that she wants her waist to be very snatched. So I'm planning to make the torso a little longer so that it kind of elongates the waist. And the color that she wants it in is a really pretty light lilac or a pastel purple. I ordered the yarn and I'm obsessed. This is the color. Isn't she so pretty? Everyone always asks me where I get my yarn, and I always get my yarn from Shopee Thailand. And unfortunately, I don't think that the shop ships worldwide. But if you are in Thailand and you do want to get yourself this yarn, I will leave the Shopee ID somewhere here. I use this yarn for absolutely everything. Every single one of my projects, I'm using this yarn. It's a sport weight soft cotton yarn, and it works really well, especially in warm tropical climates. So yeah, this is the yarn I'll be using. I wasn't sure how much yarn I needed for this project, but I did know that I needed maximum maybe 800-900 grams of yarn. So I bought a kilo, you know, just in case. I always get more yarn than I'll actually need because I hate playing yarn chicken, like it gives me the worst anxiety. So it's always best to have extra. I think this dress is going to be very similar to the very first dress I made for myself. I think the only difference is that the bust part is not going to be like a baby doll style dress. The top part is going to be longer and there's going to be like a layered skirt. So yeah, that's my plan for now. And I'll see how it goes. I'll see while I'm crocheting it if I need to make any changes. I got her measurements, so I'm ready to start crocheting. Okay, so I'm looking at the little drawing for this design here, and I'm just trying to come up with a plan I can actually follow. I'm thinking about the types of stitches I want to use for the different parts and how I'm actually going to go about making this crochet dress. I'm super excited. The main thing that I'm a little bit worried about is, yes, I have her measurements, but I also need to account for the stretch of the dress because the bottom part, like the skirt part of the dress, I'm planning to add 2 layers of skirt. And since I'm going to be using cotton yarn, it's gonna become quite heavy. So the weight of that bottom part is really gonna weigh down the entire dress really, so it's really going to stretch down that top part. So I need to account for that as well when I'm making it. For now, what I'm planning to do is the top part, I'm going to work in vertical rows, creating the panel that wraps all the way around the body. And those are going to be alternating rows of slip stitch in the back loop only and half double crochet in the back loop only, just because I like the stretch that it gives. And because she wants a snatched waist, I really want to make that waist part all slip stitches in the back loop only. I think that would really help snatch that waist, and again, it also gives a lot of stretch. I could make it a lace back to really snatch that waist, but I don't like making crochet clothing that is hard to put on by yourself. I want her to be able to put it on easily, not having to ask someone else to help her lace up the back. So I think that slip stitch waist is really going to help because we still want it to be kind of bodycon tight fit, but you also need to be able to put the dress on and take it off. So even though it's very stretchy, it'll go back to its original shape. The layers of the skirt, like the bottom part, I'm also planning to make it V-stitches. It's a very similar design to my baby doll top. The only difference is that I'm having 2 layers of the skirt, and also I'm adding that waistband of slip stitches. Okay, so I've kind of started. This is what I have so far. This is the half double crochet back loop only and slip stitch in the back loop only, this top part here, and then this is the waistband area that I'm just making slip stitches. I made it a little bit shorter than her measurements because it will stretch like this, like I said, with the weight of the skirt and everything. We'll see how it goes. I just wanted to come in here and share what I have done so far. You see the snatched waist vision. Do you see it? If she were to wear it, it'd be like this. And then, because it's gonna stretch, so it'll come down like that. I'm excited. I'll keep you updated. Wow, okay, the lighting is so bad. Let me see if this helps. Does that help? Is that better? Is it too bright? Anyways, so a little bit of an update. I think I've gotten pretty good progress. I think I'm about halfway. She's very similar size to me, so yeah, about halfway. I also just wanted to show you guys how pretty the stitches are. Like, even though slip stitches can be such a pain to work with, they really are very, very beautiful. The camera doesn't really do it justice. Maybe it's the lighting. I think a lot of you guys will be surprised or shocked that I'm using so many slip stitches. They are a pain to work with, like I said. They do take a lot of time. They also really do eat up your yarn. That's something I noticed. You use a lot more yarn than you would compared to double crochet or any other stitches like half double crochet, single crochet. I really love the look of it, and I think as you practice, keep making your slip stitches and you kind of get in the flow of it, it becomes easier, it becomes a little bit more faster as well. It's kind of like muscle memory. You know how much tension to put in and how tight to hold your working yarn and everything like that. So you kind of get into that flow and it just, you don't really think too much. It's a very repetitive stitch, as in there isn't much to it. Like, it's very, very simple. All you have to do is just like pull up a loop. That's it. Compared to like double crochet where you need to yarn over, pull through 2 loops and then 2 loops again. In theory, it should be one of the fastest stitches to do, but it just feels like it takes such a long time because the height of the stitch is so tiny. So it feels like it takes forever, but really the motion of it can be quite fast. It just takes a while to build up. I've kind of fell in love with this stitch over time. I actually have made I think it was a tube top. It was a tube top with just solely slip stitches, and I did single crochet ribbing, and it had like a crisscross strap. And if I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. And that really took everything out of me. Like, it took me forever. I think that project took me a month to make, but I was really happy with the outcome and I was obsessed with the knit look. Started to incorporate slip stitches into all of my projects. I use slip stitches in my baby doll tops. That is the progress check, and I'll probably check in with you tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. It's been like 3 days since I've last filmed that clip, but I did get a lot of work done, I think. We're almost done with the top part. There is a slight issue though. You see here in this part where I added the half double crochet, it's stretchier than this slip stitch part. So you can see here that when I'm trying this on, this part meets fine. Like, I could stop here. But this slip stitch part is super tight and barely meets. So what I'm planning to do, I'm not sure if this will fix the problem, but I'm planning to try frogging a few rows and then making a few rows of just purely slip stitch in the back loop only. So I won't be adding this half double crochet part, it'll just be rows and rows of just purely slip stitches. And I don't know if that's gonna change anything about it. I hope that it makes both of these parts the same sort of stretch. Honestly, this kind of makes me want to frog it all and just make the whole thing slip stitches, but that's gonna be a lot of work. We keep going. I'm still excited about this dress. I haven't lost all hope just yet, but yeah, now I'm just continuing to make rows and rows of just slip stitch in the back loop only. I think if this doesn't work, I might try putting elastic like around the top part and the bottom part. I just never done that before, so I don't know if it's gonna actually work. I'm just gonna continue making my slip stitches for the time being. We'll come up with solutions if it doesn't work. Okay, so I've added the full length rows of slip stitches here, and let's see if this solves our problem. Okay, so I just had to frog half of like the whole project so far because after trying it on again, it was doing the same thing, so the problem was not solved. So I thought, okay, maybe I will take off more rows and have this part be just in the front part and the back part be all slip stitches. That's what I'm doing now. I'm starting my long rows of slip stitch again. Okay, so I am finally done with this top part. Here's the front. This is what it would look like when worn, kind of, but it'll be stretched down a little bit. And then the back here is just all slip stitches. So this was able to solve my problem, and I'm really happy that it did. So yeah, now I'm going to add the skirt part. Actually, I had never done a layered or tiered skirt before, so I watched a few tutorials that helped me understand how to construct that sort of tiered effect. I'll also link the videos that I found useful in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. I think I'm going to start by making the second tier first, so the bottom tier, and then I'm gonna end with the tier on top, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get to making the skirt. This is what we've got so far. I've started the skirt part. I'll actually try it on so you can see the vision. Okay, this is the progress so far on the body. Please don't mind my outfit. This is what we have, so keeping in mind it'll stretch down. So this part is going to be at the waist, and then I'm starting the skirt part. I'm going to start with a mesh underskirt kind of, and then the last rows are going to be the ruffles, and then I'll go back to the top here and create another layer for the skirt. So it'll be a two-tiered skirt. I'm really excited for my bestie to see this dress and to see her wearing it. When I was first starting out my crochet business, I'd say 70% of my orders starting out were all for my friends, and I'm still so grateful for them. They really mean a lot to me, and I'm so happy that I get to make this dress for one of them. The person I'm making this dress for is also a crocheter, and she has a crochet account. Her stuff is adorable, so I really recommend you check her out. I'll leave the link to her Instagram in the description. I also want to be that support, not just for those who supported me, but for anyone really, because I know how daunting it can be starting your own business and not getting orders for the first few months and all the struggles in managing your own business. I love the crochet community on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, all my platforms. Everyone's really nice, and very supportive, and that's something I really cherish and I'm very grateful for. This is what we have so far. I've started the bottom layer of the skirt. This is what it looks like on. I'm gonna have to continue making this bottom layer skirt, and then once I'm done, I will join my yarn to this part here and start making the first layer, the top layer of the skirt. I've actually finished my first skein of yarn, or actually cake of yarn, because it is a cake. So one cake of yarn has 200 grams, so that means 200 grams has gotten me this far. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna join this cake of yarn so that we can continue making this bottom layer. Okay, so I realized it might be a smarter decision to, instead of adding my yarn back to this bottom layer here, it might be smarter to add my yarn, connect it to this part where I'm going to add the first layer, so that I can really gauge how much weight this skirt part is going to pull down the dress, and that way I can more accurately. Right now there isn't much weight to it because it's missing this whole top layer here. I need to start making this top layer so that more of the weight is going to be considered in the final length of the dress, if that makes sense. By the way, this is my cat. Her name is Aurora, but I call her a Noonie. Some of you might have noticed her in my, I think it was my first baby doll top tutorial. She was there in some clips. Okay, so this is what we have so far. You can see this mesh underskirt here. This is the top layer of the skirt. And then we have the bottom layer, which I definitely need to build more on. And yeah, I am liking it so far. The only thing I'm thinking about is I think I might have overestimated the weight, like how much the weight of the skirt will stretch this dress down, because I think I will need to add maybe some slip stitch rows up top here to elongate this torso part, because I feel like this is a bit too cropped to what my best friend is expecting. She wants the ruffles to start at the end of her belly button area, so like my belly button is right here. So granted, she is shorter than me, so our body proportions are not the same, but I still think I might need to add maybe some few inches up here. But yeah, so far I think it's coming along nicely. And yeah, so I think game plan now is to just continue making this top layer until it reaches about here, so you can't see this mesh underskirt. And then I'm going to make more rows of this bottom part as well. And then I'll see if I have to add more length to the top here. Then that should finish the dress. The only thing left is the straps after that. Okay, update. Even though I was really liking how the dress is coming along so far, I do think that I'm going in a different direction than I planned. And after, showing my friend the progress so far, she also said that it's not exactly what she wanted. So we agreed that it's too roughly, the fabric sort of bunches up a little bit too much. We still want it to be a flowy skirt, but I think I'll do less increases. And she also wants it to be just a one layer skirt, so no double layer or tiered skirt. So yeah, I'm gonna have to unravel this bottom part and just stick to a more simple design. I think that's what she's looking for. I'll still use the V-stitch, but less increases. Okay, so I have finished winding up the bottom part of the dress. So this is what I've done so far now. It's definitely less roughly. I did much less increases. I'm just gonna continue making rows and rows of this V-stitch here until it's long enough. Okay, I finished another cake of yarn. This is how much I got done. This is what it looks like on the body. I think it's looking a lot like the sketch that I made now. And I think with the skirt part, we're about halfway. Okay, editing Gaia here. This project was done in the span of a few months, so I was working on it pretty inconsistently, very off and on. So actually the next clip you'll see is about 2 weeks after the previous clip you saw. So if it feels kind of disconnected, you know why. So for the lettuce trim that I'm doing for the edge here, she did say that she wants it in a white color. So I have some white yarn here and I'm just gonna add some white to the bottom. I'm also gonna have to ask her if she wants the straps to be the same white as well. I think it would go together well, but yeah, I have to ask her. The lighting is actually so atrocious, but I just wanted to show you that I finished making the little trim for the bottom of the dress, and now my mission is to extend this bodice or top part. So I'd figure that out. If I don't end up liking how it looks, or I show it to my friend and she doesn't like how it looks, then I'm not really sure what to do, to be honest. But I'll make it work. I tried a little something. I tried adding like a little sample of what it would look like if I were to add yarn and then build up my rows from there. It looks okay, not the best, but the problem is because this part is so stretchy and this top part is also really stretchy, but this part where I join the yarn with slip stitches, it's not stretchy at all. So I don't think she can put this on her body. I'm stuck. I don't really know what to do. I tried another method where I put single crochets down first and then I build up my rows. I think it does look a little bit better, but again, like it's not as stretchy. I'll only know if this actually will work if I finish it and then try it on, because yes, it's not that stretchy, but it might work still. I'm just trying to think of if there's something else I can do that will guarantee that it'll work, instead of me putting in all the work, doing it this way, and then finishing it, trying it on, realizing it doesn't work, and then I have to figure out another way, because I'm planning to give this to her in about 1 month's time, less than 1 month, in about 3 weeks. And during those 3 weeks, I'm going to be pretty busy with traveling, so I doubt I'll be able to have a lot of time to, you know, do one method and then if it doesn't work, do it again or find a different technique. Okay, since I can't figure out a different way or a different method to do this, I think I'm just gonna go ahead with this method and hopefully it works out. Fingers crossed. Okay, wait, I just had an idea. Remember how at the start of the video I showed you the inspiration picture? And remember how I said she isn't so bothered about the dress having that little tie detail in the front or not? I think this might save this project, because if I were to add that tie detail, I don't have to worry about the stretch of it so much anymore. At least that top part where the tie detail is going to be, because that tie detail isn't going to be completely closed. There's obviously going to be that little tie. It doesn't have to be like elastic or anything like that. I don't think that's going to work anymore, because the extra amount of length that I needed to add it to that top part was only about 7 centimeters long, and 7 centimeters doesn't even cover the bust fully. So I don't think that would look cute, because usually that tie detail, it would start like right here, and then you'd have that like tie detail here, like around the bust area. So if it's basically only like half, I feel like it wouldn't look nice, right? I'm just gonna stick to the method of making the row of single crochets first, loosely, and then building up my rows from there. I'm gonna forget about that little tie detail part in the middle of the chest, and I'm just gonna go with what I had planned, hoping for the best. I managed to figure it out and I think I'm done with the dress. So here's the little top part that I was struggling to add on. I managed to do it and still maintain that elasticity. Also, please don't mind the background. I know it's messy, but it's very late at night and I have to give her this dress tomorrow. So I kind of rushed to finish it, and that's the least of my concern right now. And then I added the tie straps, and of course I still have a bunch of ends to weave in, but I'm basically done. I'll show you. I think this is a better angle. I'm wearing a skirt because it's short on me, but because she's shorter than me, so this will be the perfect length for her. So this is what it looks like. I think it's really cute. And I think it looks similar to the sketch that I made and what she's looking for. I'm really excited to give it to her tomorrow and see her reaction. Hopefully I can get it on camera for you guys. I just hope she likes it. So I didn't have time to film her reaction or me giving it to her, but she has the dress now. I've given her the dress and she says she likes it, so I'm very grateful for that. I was really worried that she wouldn't because there were a lot of hiccups along the way and the dress didn't really turn out to be exactly like how I had envisioned it to be, and I was scared she wasn't gonna like that top part that I had to add last minute. I gave it to her during our graduation, so it was really hectic. Like, we didn't even have enough time to take photos, but she has the dress and I asked her to send me some video footage and pictures of her wearing the dress, and I'll include it in this video and you get to see what it looks like on her. I'm really excited to receive those videos, see what it looks like on her, because I haven't seen what the dress actually looks like on her. I've only ever seen it on myself. A lot of people have been asking me for a tutorial, and at first I wasn't going to make one because I thought that because it's a free-handed dress and I frogged it and redid a lot of it, so I didn't note down all the steps I did. I will probably make a tutorial for a similar design. It is a whole dress, so it will probably take me a really long time to design, make, film, edit, all of that, but I'm happy to make a tutorial if you guys want one. Let me know in the comments if you want a tutorial for a similar dress design. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this crochet vlog. I hope you enjoyed watching the process of designing it, making it, all of that. Let me know if you did, and I think you can expect to see more crochet vlogs from me in the future. I did enjoy making this one. I feel like this vlog was very much all over the place. Granted, it is my first crochet vlog. In the meantime, you can check out my other crochet tutorials on my channel, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!